Hi, hello, good evening, dear friends, students. Hope you are all getting ready for the coming JEE NEET examinations 2020. Okay, so today I am coming with the JEE main final drive with the most expected chemistry questions from YRK Mohan. My name is YRK Mohan. Okay, so shall I start the class? Yeah, let us move to the class to see the most important and expected questions in chemistry in the coming examinations in 2020. Okay, let us start the class. Here they given a question that is the correct set of 4 quantum numbers for the valence electrons of rubidium atom, which is the Z value given as 37. Rubidium Z value is 37. They're asking us to identify what are the quantum numbers. If you see the electronic configuration of rubidium, it is outermost electronic configuration 5s1 is there. What is the last cell is, the shell is 5s1. So the last electron is called as differentiating electron. In this case is enters in 5s level. Here for 5s, n value is 1, s orbital L value is 0, that is azimuthal quantum number value, and magnetic quantum number value is also 0, depends on L value, and spin quantum number value, only one electron is there, is n plus 1 by 2. So according to all these observations, it is matches with our first option. So first option is the right option for this question. Hope you understand. This is asked from atomic structure. Let us move on to the next one. If Z is compressibility factor, van der Waals equation at low pressure can be expressed as, written as, you know that compressibility factor Z is equal to PV by RT for 1 mole of real gas. And in the van der Waals equation, we have P plus A by V square into V minus B into RT is equal to RT. The given condition is low pressure. Low pressure means V minus B can be considered as V as van der Waals constant B can be neglected in this condition. So after applying that one, V minus B is written as V and simplified. Got PV by RT is equals to 1 minus AV by RT. And as you know, PV by RT, that is nothing but Z value. So Z is equals to 1 minus A by VRT. 1 minus A by VRT. So what is the right one? So option is, the second option is the right answer. This is asked from States of Matter chapter first year. See the next question. Cesium chloride crystallizes in body-centered cubic lattice. If A is its edge length, then which of the following expressions is correct? As you know, for body-centered, this is the picture you can observe in this one. The corner Cl minus ions will join at CS plus in the body-centered, will in touch with the body-centered one. That case, 4R will become root 3A, means body diagonal. And in that, 2RCl minus plus 2RCA plus will become diagonal. And 2R will become root 3A by 2. That means sum of the radius of cation and anion in this case is root 3A by 2. So RCS plus RCl minus gives rise to root 3A by 2. So which is Our right option is option C, 3. Third option. This is asked from the solid state chapter, first unit of our class 12 chemistry. So hope you understand, from solid state this type of question can be asked. Next question. For the estimation of nitrogen, 1.4 grams of an organic compound was digested by Zeldal's method, and evolved ammonia was absorbed in 60 ml of M by 10 sulfuric acid. The unreacted acid required 20 ml of M by 10 sodium hydroxide for complete neutralization. Then the percentage nitrogen compound is, they have given 1.4 grams of organic compound and 60 ml of the acid they are given. So here, if you observe the question, sulfuric acid molarity given M by 10, that can be written as N by 5 as the normality, as sulfuric acid normality is equals to 2 into molarity. So molarity is equals to N by 2. So normality of sulfuric acid is N by 5. Sodium hydroxide is N by 10, because normality molarity both are same. But the reason is normality is equals to 2 into molarity for sulfuric acid. So this is the reason they are given N by 5. So number of gram equivalents of sodium hydroxide here can be obtained by summing gram equivalents of sodium hydroxide and ammonia. Gram equivalents, number of gram equivalents how will come, means normality into volume. Here volume of sulfuric acid is actually 60 ml given. 60 ml means converted into liters. So 1 by 5 into 60 by 1000 is the gram equivalents of sulfuric acid, and sodium hydroxide they have given, that is unreacted acid required 20 ml. So 20 by 1000 into its normality 1 by 10 plus, we don't know the gram equivalents of number of gram equivalents of ammonia. So that is calculated in this discussion. So after finding the number of gram equivalents, we found that is equals to 1 by 100, because once this 1 by 500 goes towards 6 the right left side, then it will become 1 by 500. So the normality of number of moles normality is equals to of ammonia is equals to gram equivalents of ammonia by is equals to 1 by 100. So mass of ammonia, mass of nitrogen they are asking. So percentage of nitrogen they are asking. So percentage in ammonia we know 14 grams is there. So 14 by 100 is 0.14 grams of mass of nitrogen is there. So what is the percentage of nitrogen in this one? The percentage of nitrogen in the given problem, the 1.4 grams of organic compound given. So, but we have the mass of nitrogen is 0.14 grams we got among 1.4 grams. So the percentage is became 10%. So 10% means answer is the second option. Hope you understand. Here Zeldal's expression is telling about the estimation of nitrogen. This question asked to find the percentage of nitrogen from this reaction between sulfuric acid and ammonia liberates nitrogen gas. Okay. So this is asked from our organic chemistry chapter from unit class 11 organic chemistry. Next, resistance of 0.2 molarity solution of an electrolyte is 50 ohms. The specific conductance of the solution is 1.4 Siemens per meter. Then the resistance of 0.5 molarity solution of same electrolyte is 280 ohms. Then molar conductivity of 0.5 molarity solution of electrolyte is in Siemens meter square per mole. How much? So the question they are asking us to find the molar conductivity. Before that, we have to find the specific conductance from the above information. So they are given the molarity of the solution. First, 0.2 resistance is 50, and the from this one more thing, they are given specific conductance. They are given, that is 1.4 Siemens per meter. So that is substituted, and we got specific resistance. The specific resistance is value after simplifying. We got rho is equals to 1 by 1.4 into the power of minus 2. Then after the relation between the cell constant and resistance and resistivity, in that cell constant calculated. So resistivity we got 1 by 1.4 into the power of minus 2. Cell constant value also given here. So now they are given one more solution, that is 0.5 molarity solution, that is given resistance is 280 ohms. So for this one, what we have to do is we have to find the resistivity specific conductance. The specific conductance of this value we got 15 to 1.4 to the power of minus 2 here. And using this resistance 280, we got finally 2.5 to the power of minus 3 Siemens per centimeter we got. Okay. So now this entire expressions, why we are changing here is nothing but that lambda m value we have to find. So the lambda sigma we are given, that is nothing but specific conductance. Usually we will use kappa symbol in the books. So that is substituted. After that, in final expression we got 5 to the power of minus 4 Siemens meter square per mole. That is the value we got. So the answer is 5 to the power of minus 4. Next question. The complete combustion of ethanol, that is C2H5OH plus 3O2 gives rise to 2CO2 plus 2H2O, 3H2O. The amount of heat produced as measured in bomb calorimeter is 1364.47 kilojoules per mole at 25 degrees Celsius. Assuming ideality, the enthalpy of combustion delta H C for the reaction will be how much for this given reaction? Enthalpy of reaction, how much they're asking. So this is asked from thermodynamics, and in this one the given equation bomb calorimeter delta U value, that is the minus 13.6447 kilojoules per mole, and delta N value we got is 1. From the given equation the gaseous molecules are there. So gaseous molecules, number of gaseous molecules which are obtained, number of gaseous products minus number of gaseous reactants is minus 1 we got. And now the delta H value is equal to delta U plus delta N RT. And after substituting that delta N value and R values and all this, delta U value given in the problem is 1364.47. We got delta H value is minus 1366.93 kilojoules per mole we got. That is matches with our answer 1. So first option is the right option for this question. So in this, this question asked from electrochemistry, and this question combustion question they asked from thermodynamics first year. That is the next question. The equivalent conductance of NaCl at concentration C and infinite dilution are lambda C and lambda infinitive respectively. then the correct relationship between lambda c and lambda infinity is given as. So this is asked again from electrochemistry, second year syllabus, class 12. In this, as per the Debye-Haeckel-Onsager equation, lambda c is equal to lambda infinity minus a into root c, where the slope of this equation is negative slope, as we know that here if you consider this a is b, then it will be definitely matches with our one of the options, third option. So third option is the right option for this question. Next, moving on to the next question, consider separate solutions of 0.5 molarity of ethyl alcohol, comma 0.1 molarity of magnesium phosphate, 0.25 moles of potassium bromide, and 0.125 moles of sodium phosphate at 25 degrees Celsius. Then which statement is true about these solutions? Assuming all these salts to be strong electrolytes, they have the same osmotic pressure, as well as 0.1 molarity of magnesium phosphate has the highest osmotic pressure, and 0.125 molarity of sodium phosphate has the highest osmotic pressure. Like that, they given one more 0.5 molarity of ethyl alcohol has the highest osmotic pressure they are given. So here, what is the statement is true about this one means we have to check with the osmotic pressure expression. Pi is equals to ICRT. In that, the given solutions we have verified. Ethyl alcohol we got 0.5 RT. Magnesium phosphate we got 0.5 RT as I value is 5 for magnesium phosphate. And potassium bromide we got N values, I values 2. And finally we got the osmotic pressure values 0.5 RT. And sodium phosphate I value is 4, substituted that value of concentration of sodium phosphate, and finally we got 0.5 RT. So in these 4 expressions, we have observed that what is the osmotic pressure? Osmotic pressure for all the solutions which are given or same. That means our first option is the right option for this question. So this is asked from solution chapter in the class 12 of unit 2 of our chemistry syllabus. Next, moving on to the next one. For the reaction SO2 plus off photo gives rise to SO3, if Kp is equal to Kc into RT power X, where the symbols are usual, meaning then the value of X is assuming ideality. We have 4 options are in this SO2 giving SO3 oxidation reaction, where is a gaseous reaction. In this reaction, delta N value we have calculated that we got as delta Ng is minus 1 by 2. So this expression is giving an idea about minus 1 by 2 value means minus 1 by 2 is matches with our second option, as they have asked what is the symbols they have unusual meaning, then the value of X is. So X here in the given question is now said to be the difference between the gases products minus that of gases reactants. So the second answer is the right option for this question. So this is asked from the equilibrium chapter of class 12 chemistry number 7. Next, for the non-stoichiometric reaction 2A plus B gives rise to C plus D, the following kinetics data were obtained in 3 separate experiments, all at 298 Kelvin. So they are given experimental information. In that we have 3 rate of reactions given, concentrations at 3 different experiments. For the 3 different experiments, if you find the expressions, then you can easily find out what is the rate law for this given experiment. So this is asked from chemical kinetics, and we have to solve that one from the given experiment. So 3 experiments we have taken the equations. That means in rate is equals to K into concentration of the A power X into concentration of B power Y. The X and Y are considered as the order with respect to A and B. In this, after dividing this first equation with second equation, we got Y value is 0. That means with respect to B, the order is 0. And dividing the first equation with third equation, we got X value is 1. That means order with respect to A is 1. So the rate expression is became, rate law is became dC by dt is equal to K into A power 1 into B power 0. That means what is the expression given in the question? The fourth option is the right option for this question. as they given dC by dt is equals to K into A concentration only. So that is the right option for this question. Let us move to the next one. Among the following oxo acids, the correct decreasing order of acid strength is. We have four options are there: hypochlorous acid, chlorous acid, chloric acid, perchloric acid. In all these cases, first we have to check with their ionization equations. In their ionization equations, perchloric acid, chloric acid, chlorous acid, hypochlorous acid are giving this H plus ion, and they produce a conjugate base. When they produce a conjugate base, and the conjugate along with the conjugate base, we have to check with their corresponding resonance structures. In these resonance structures, what we observed is ClO minus, that means hypochlorous chloride ion is not said to be exhibiting resonance hybridized, which is not resonance stabilized. So as per the resonance stability order of conjugate base will be Cl minus gives rise to ClO3 minus gives rise to ClO2 gives greater than ClO minus. That means ClO4 greater than ClO3 greater than ClO2 minus greater than ClO minus. So this is the actual strength of the conjugate base. That means in the question, correct decreasing order of the acidic strength. That means when the base is here stable, more stable, then that acid is said to be more acidic. So our third option, which is matches with the analysis what we have done. So third option, right option. This question asked from the oxo acids of chlorine from P block elements chapter class 11, class 12. Hope you understand. Next move to the next question. The metal that cannot be obtained by electrolysis of an aqueous solution of its salts is. We have four kinds of different options are there. Silver is there, calcium, copper, chromium are there. But when you observe an electrolysis, only in case of calcium salt aqueous solution, hydrogen gas is discharged at cathode. In case of chromium, they notice that chromium is got deposited. In case of silver, silver got deposited at cathode, and copper is got deposited at cathode. While that of calcium equation at cathode reaction, if you observe as a reactive metal, that is giving hydrogen gas at cathode. That means in this question, the metal that cannot be obtained by electrolysis is nothing but calcium. So answer 2. Second answer is the right answer for this question. Let us move to the next question. The octahedral complex of metal ion M3 plus with the 4 monodentate ligands L1, L2, L3 and L4 absorb wavelengths in region of red, green, yellow and blue respectively. Then the increasing order of ligand strength of 4 ligands is, we have 4 options are there in that. First option, L1, the different kinds of relations, L1 less than L3, less than L2, less than L1. These all things we can't easily understand from the options, but we have to check with the analysis according to their energies. That means this is VGR, and this the energy of the red light is said to be less than that of violet light. In the case, the energy order is given as red is less than, yellow is less than, green is less than blue. That means the complex absorbs lower energy light, lower will be strength. So order of ligands here will be given in this way. That is L1 less than, L3 less than, L2 less than, L4. So it is matches with our second option. So second option is the right option. So coordination chemistry, coordination compound chapter, they have asked this question from the octahedral complexes. Okay, in this question, you need to observe this information regarding the increasing order of ligand strength. Increasing order of ligand strength you will be understand from this picture: red, yellow, green, blue order. That means energy is more for blue in this way, in this manner, and they have already given L1 is red, L2 is green, L3 is yellow, L4 is blue. That means in the same order, this strength of ligand will be there. Okay, that means L4. After that, L2. So what is L2? That is green. Then after L3, L3 is nothing but yellow, and finally it is L1, that is red. That means energy is less. So this is one model question we can expect from coordination compounds. Next question. Which of the following properties is not shown by NO? You know, nitric oxide is diamagnetic in gas state. It is neutral oxide. It combines with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide. Its bond order is 2.5. Here, if you observe the molecular orbital electronic configuration of nitric oxide with 15 electrons, it is said to be dimerages also in the gas state. It has one unpaired electron in the electronic configuration, and the bond order we got is 2.5 from the molecular orbital electronic configurations of NB minus Na by 2. Why? Because here we got NB 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 2s are 8. 8 minus, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 10 minus 5. So it is 10 minus 5 by 2. We got 2.5. It combines with oxygen to give nitrogen dioxide. That means in this one, which one of the following properties is not shown by NO, means it is a paramagnetic, but again it is a diamagnetic in gas state. So nitric oxide is paramagnetic in gas state, as it has one unpaired electron in its outermost shell. It is asked from chemical bonding chapter, our unit number 4 in the class 12 chemistry. Next question. In which of the following reactions hydrogen peroxide acts as reducing agent? Okay, so they are given different kinds of reactions. When it is acting as reducing agent, definitely hydrogen peroxide undergoes oxidation. You can observe the reducing agent oxidizes. That means if you observe verify all the equations given in the first option, oxidation state of oxygen, how is changing, and in the reaction electrons we have shown in the left side, and the second option we have shown the electrons on the right side, and the third option we have shown the electrons in the left side, and the fourth equation we have shown the electrons in the right side. That means when we are writing minus 2e, that means that the electrons are present in the right side. So powers of oxygen or oxidation numbers here, that's what you have to understand from the representation. From these two things, we observed that B and D, and the B and D. So there are two things are there, that is B and D both are present in our fourth option. So fourth option is the right option for this question. So this question asked from the hydrogen chapter of class 11 chemistry part 2 textbook. Okay, so this question can be understand. First we have to know the oxidation states of oxygens, then after we can easily calculate the how many electrons should be written in the left side and right side of the equation. Next question. The correct statement of the molecule CSI3 is, actually iodine combines to give I3 minus ion also in this case. That means CS plus and I3 minus ions both are there in this given molecule. That means our option number 2 is the right option for this question. It contains CS plus and I3 minus ions. Next, actually the first question, this question is they have asked from this concept of S block elements. Next question. The ratio of masses of oxygen and nitrogen in a particular gaseous mixture is 1:4. Then the ratio of number of their molecules is, okay, molecule ratio we have to calculate. This is a question which is asked from states of matter gaseous state chapter. In this, we have to find the number of moles using the amount of the gases. That means ratio of masses of oxygen and nitrogen particular gas mixture is 1:4 they are given. That means once you have taken the mass of oxygen is x, mass of nitrogen will become 4x as per the given ratio, that is 1:4, because in that question they are given mass of oxygen by mass of nitrogen is 1/4. Okay, you can consider 1 also, no problem. 1 is for oxygen and 4 is for nitrogen. So whether x or any number 1 if you take, then the number of moles of oxygen become x by 32, as weight by molecular weight of oxygen is the number of moles of oxygen. And next one is number of moles of nitrogen is weight of nitrogen is mass of nitrogen is 4x by molar mass of nitrogen is 28, that is become x by 7. So x by 32, x by 7. So that ratio is x by 32 is to x by 7. It has become 7:32. So 7:32 means our right option is second option for this question. So the next question. The given below are the half reactions. We have manganese reaction is there. Mn2 plus 2E gives rise to Mn. E0 value given as minus 1.18 volts. Mn3 plus E minus gives us to Mn2 plus, and E0 value given is plus 1.51. So in these reactions equations, we know that E0 value is negative for the first equation and positive for the second equation. But they're asking us the E0 value of another combined equation, that is 3Mn2 plus gives rise to Mn plus 2 Mn3 plus is how much. So we have to use the formula. That means Gibbs energy expression formula in this one. First equation if you take, for the first equation delta G1 I am taking the Gibbs energy expression, that has become equals to changes 2 electrons. So 2F into E0 value they are given is minus 1.18. After substituting that one delta G1 not, I got 2.36 Faradays. Same fashion, the second equation also we calculate, that is delta G0 value I got as 1 electron transfer is taken place. So number of electrons is moles of electron transfer is 1. There's a minus 1 into F into the E0 value given in the question is plus 1.51. While finally you got minus 1.51 Faradays. Actually we have used here delta Z0 is equals to minus N of E0. This is the expression we have used. And from these two equations, above given two equations, the first equation, second equation, if you multiply the second equation with the 2, and after that subtracting the second equation, the first equation, we will get the required equation. The required equation is 3Mn2 plus gives rise to Mn plus 2, Mn3 plus. And for this reaction, we can write delta Z1 naught minus 2 delta Z2 naught. Why? Because we have done an operation. That operation is first equation minus 2 into second equation delta G values. First equation we have calculated delta Z1 naught value 2.36 we got. And second equation we got delta Z2 naught, we got minus 1.51. So after substituting these values, we got delta Z3 naught value is 5.36. But our aim in the question is to find the E0 value of the required equation. So aim equation is 3Mn2 plus gives rise to Mn plus 2 Mn3 plus. In that equation, the number of electron transferred observed is 2 electrons. So in that we substituted delta Z03 value calculated, and finally we got E0 value for the required equation, and that value is negative for the reaction we observed. So E0 value is negative is non-spontaneous. E0 value is positive is spontaneous. So minus 2.69 is given for two options. That's why non-spontaneous means the reaction will not occur. So we will go with the first option. So first option is the right option which is given, which is correct option for this question. Asked from electrochemistry chapter from class 11. Unit number 3. Next question. Which series of reactions correctly represents chemical reactions related to iron and its compound? Here, they are given different kinds of equations. Let us observe the equations. In that first equation, iron treated with dilute sulfuric acid gives ferrous sulfate. Again, treated with oxygen. Again, oxidation takes place in the presence of sulfuric acid gives ferric sulfate, heated iron got. And in the second equation, what they got is ferrous oxide. After that, convert into ferrous sulfate, iron, and treated with chlorine. The third option, ferric chloride they got. After that, they heated and ferrous chloride treated with the zinc, got iron. And fourth equation, they are converted Fe into Fe3O4 and treated with CO at 600 degrees Celsius. They got FeO, and again at 700 degrees Celsius, they reduced the FeO into Fe. So the question is, which series of reactions correctly represent? Once you observe the thing that is related to iron reactions, iron converted into Fe3O4 corresponds to combustion reaction, and FeO converted to Fe is reduction reaction, and reaction corresponds to the production of iron in the blast furnace. This is correct one. So that means fourth option, which is the right option, this is asked from metallurgy or general principles of the isolation of elements, chapter number 6 from our class 12 chemistry, part 1 textbook. So most important question they have discussed from the metallurgy chapter. Let us move to the next question. The equation which is balanced in the and represents the correct product is. So which is the correct balanced equation? Which is the correct product in the equation? So if you observe the four equations, equations may be balanced, but we have to check with that product that is also correct one, which is also balanced one. Okay. Then check it here. We have the complex compound concept here, and this complex compounds topic they have discussed. There is a cobalt complex is there, undergoes acidic medium, decomposes to give this CO2 plus and 5NH4 plus and Cl minus. So the question is the equation which is balanced and represents the correct products is. So what will happen here? In the given question, in the second option, the cobalt complex in the presence of acid, what will happen, sir? That will give this corresponding ions. So option 2, second option is the right option for this question. In this, a lot of complications will be there, but the point is in the presence of acid we are telling. Otherwise, this coordinate pair cannot be separated out. Next question, in SN2 reactions, the correct order of reactivity of the following compounds. They are given methyl chloride, ethyl chloride, and isopropyl chloride, and tertiary butyl chloride. Let us check with that SN2 reaction that is said to be depending on steric crowding of alkyl halides. So the steric crowding is more in the case of this tertiary butyl, or the secondary, or the primary, then after it is methyl. So if you follow this order, it is matches with our second option, that is the right option, in which correct order of reactivity of towards the SN2 mechanism. So SN2 mechanism is said to be readily involved by the primary alkyl halides. Then that we have methyl chloride is also an important one, which will immediately participate in the SN2 mechanism. It's a direct question asked from our haloalkanes chapter of class 12 part 2 textbook, first chapter. Next question, on heating an aliphatic primary amine with chloroform and ethanolic potassium hydroxide, the organic compound formed is, primary amine with chloroform ethanolic hydroxide means it is said to be carbylamine reaction. So if you see carbylamine reaction, we got isocyanide. That means alkyl isocyanide. So the fourth option is the right option for this question. The previous one, this is asked from our amines chapter of second year organic chemistry. Next question, the most suitable reagent of for the conversion of this alcohol into aldehyde. See, sometimes this oxidizing agents are said to be different kinds of strengths they have. That means if you take a strong oxidizing agent like potassium dichromate, potassium permanganate, what will happen? Further oxidation of aldehyde also takes place, and that will convert into carboxylic acid. But here we will use specific oxidizing agents like the pyridium chlorochromate is a mild oxidizing agent which will convert alcohol into aldehyde only. So PCC, or you can use PDC also, pyridium dichromate. In this case, so we will be going with the fourth option. This is the right option, which is asked from the preparation of aldehydes, that is carbonyl compounds chapter. Even it is a property of alcohol also. Next question. The major organic compound formed by the reaction of 1,1,1-trichloroethane with silver powder is. You know here, when they are given a trihalo compound, silver powder, silver takes the halogens. And if you remember this acetylene reaction, acetylene formation from chloroform CH, Cl3, the acetylene we have one carbon is there, and a product in chloroform we have one carbon is there. When we treat it with the silver powder, and two carbons we got. But in this given question, trichloroethane they given. In ethane we have two carbons are there, trichloroethane. So definitely we will get 4 carbon alkyne. That is nothing but 2-butane. No doubt at all. So if you see the equation, and silver powder boiling with this 1,1,1-trichloroethane, we will get 2-butane. So third option is the right option for this question. Next question. Sodium phenoxide when heated with CO2 under pressure at 125 degrees Celsius yields a product which on acetylation produces C. Definitely it looks like Wolff's reaction, and it is given the different kinds of options here. When we pass carbon dioxide gas into this sodium phenoxide, definitely we will get this carboxylic compound. But acetylation of this carboxylic compound, that means orthohydroxybenzoic acid, we will get salicylic acid, and that is further again subjected to acetylation, gives OH will become OCO CH3. Let us see that mechanism. In that mechanism, we got acetyl salicylic acid aspirin preparation here. So that is our equation, and in that equation, which is matches with our first option, that is the right option for this one. It's the most important preparation of this acetyl salicylic acid. This is asked from our phenol chapter of our class 12 part 2 textbook. Let us move to the next question. Considering the basic strength of amines in aqueous solution, which one has the smallest pKb value? You see, one thing, pKb value is inversely proportional to the basicity. That means the given amines is not said to be readily donating the pair of electrons from the nitrogen. Such case we have to observe. In this observation, what happened? Among these things, we observed that aniline is said to be exhibiting the resonance structures, and tertiary amine is there, and aniline is there, which is least basic due to the resonance. So out of that, tertiary amine, primary amine, secondary amine, and all these things which are said to be alkyl amines are said to be more basic because they are said to exhibiting positive inductive effect, and rather than that one, we have hydrogen bonding is also present in that cases. That means in those cases, when we observe the secondary amine, the secondary amine is said to be most basic in nature, and which is exhibiting positive inductive effect, which is said to be the answer for this question. As the strength of the secondary amine, which is more, then pKb is less. So which is more basic, which is having least pKb value. Okay, so if you arrange these amines in order also, that arrangement is an important question from this chapter, amines chapter. So basicity of amines is most important question that can be expected in the coming JEE examinations. Okay. Hope you understand. And just we have observed the resonance structures of aniline. This is also important. Why? Because this aniline is least basic. What is the reason? They ask. That means resonance stabilized is the reason for that. And remaining things, when you just check with the tertiary amine and primary amine, all these things, in the secondary amine only, what will happen, this pair of electrons from nitrogen can be easily donated by this secondary amine because the steric hindrance factor in the case of tertiary amine is not allowing that one to donate easily, but easily the secondary amine can donate the pair of electrons compared to primary and tertiary amines. That's why we went along with the secondary amine. That is the right answer for this question. Next question. For which of the following molecules the significant value mu is not equals to 0? That means dipole moment question from chemical bonding chapter of our class 11. We have asked this one. In this, what we have to observe is we have to check with the bond moments here. Bond moment values directions if you observe dichloro, para dichloro, para dicyano benzenes, opposite direction is there, bond moments got cancelled, so dipole moment value is 0 for A and B options. But C option, if you check with that C option, we have OH groups are there, but the point is nothing but this orientation of pair of electrons is different when they are involving into this hydrogen bonding. That's why what will happens in the in case of dihydroxybenzenes, para-dihydroxybenzene and this sulfur cases and all, the third option and fourth option, this electron orientation around the sulfur atoms is not allowing the bond movement to get cancelled. That's why dipole moments are not same for these compounds. So dihydroxy phenols, dihydroxythiols. These two are not said to exhibit the 0 value. That means they have a significant dipole moment value is there. C and D. So C and D means our fourth option is the right answer for this question. Definitely I can say it is a little difficult question, average question they have asked earlier. Now this can be understand because there is a little confusion. All they are given para compounds. We have to check with the groups attached to that one, to the benzene and para portions, how they will act. Depending on that, we will give the answer for this one. Next question. Which one is classified as a condensation polymer? We have Dacron, neoprene, Teflon, acrylonitrile. Among these, Dacron is said to be a polyester formed by the condensation polymerization of terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol. We have terephthalic acid is nothing but this is terephthalic acid. In para position, the carboxyl groups will be there, and ethylene glycol is nothing but 2 OH groups will be there. So when you remove water molecules from them, what will happen? So Dacron will be obtained. So Dacron is the right answer. While that of acrylonitrile, neoprene and Teflon are said to be addition polymers of acrylonitrile, isoprene and tetrafluoroethylene respectively. So Teflon is not the right answer, neoprene is not the right answer, and acrylonitrile is not the right answer. Dacron is said to be condensation polymer. So first option, Dacron is the right answer for this question asked from the polymer chapter of class 12, unit number 15, part 2 textbook. Next question. Which one of the following bases is not present in DNA? You know, AGCT or ATGC, this is the symbol if you remember in DNA. A stands for adenine, T stands for thymine, and G stands for guanine, and C stands for cytosine. So we have to practice the base is present in DNA and RNA. Then usually this is a common question, expected question from biomolecules chapter. that is DNA bases which is not present. We have to check not. Very carefully we have to observe the question in the examination, and they are telling that which of the base is not present. C. Quinoline. See, first option, quinoline is there. The quinoline is not present in this one. So, first option is the right option for this question. Let us see the next one. In the reaction, acetic acid gives A, B, C, and the series of reactions. We have to find the product C. And we have observed acetic acid undergo reduction gives ethyl alcohol A, and ethyl alcohol with phosphorus pentachloride gives ethyl chloride. Ethyl chloride upon the dehydrohallucination, what will happen? It gives an unsaturated alkene with the 2 carbons here. So that is ethylene. So our option 3 is the right answer for this question from this organic chemistry. So they ask this question as a conversion question. It involves carboxylic acid, alcohol, alkyl halide compound. So finally, it is one of the preparation of ethylene, we can say hydrocarbon ethylene from this organic chemistry. So organic chemistry also they asked some important questions in this session. Hi guys, hope you have observed my JEE mains final drive. That means before the examination, I would like to give such type of questions. We follow this one, you will get an idea that from which kind of the questions they can able to ask in the examination, and what are the chapters we have to refer to attempt this type of questions successfully in the coming examinations. Okay, thank you very much for this session. Hope you have understand this session very well, and please repeatedly watch these videos before the examination. You'll get an idea, more confidence, and your confidence definitely will get boosted from this JEE main final drives by Race Academy Bangalore. Okay, thank you very much. We'll meet shortly. We'll come back the next series of JEE final drive shortly with different questions. Let us wait for that one. Until bye bye. Have a nice day.